Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In my previous video, I was discussing about the class 10 CBSE chemistry, some important questions for 1 mark. So in this class, I am going to discuss about some important 2 marks question with its solution. I have taken various sample papers. From that sample papers, I have taken these questions. So without wasting a time, let me have a discussion regarding the first question, that is, when H2 gas is passed over heated copper to oxide, copper and steam are formed. So these two are the product. Copper and steam is a product. Steam means H2O. So write a balanced chemical equation. State what kind of chemical reaction it is. So very firstly they are asking, write a balanced chemical equation. So we'll be having H2 plus CuO producing Cu plus H2O. So here we have passed a hydrogen gas to copper oxide. So we got a copper and water. So this is of steam. So steam means water we got. So what type of reaction it is? Very firstly we will be seeing this. See, from H2 to H2O it becomes. So it undergo oxidation. Addition of oxygen takes place to this. And from CuO to Cu. So what is this? It undergo reduction. So which type of reaction it is? It is a redox reaction. That means it undergo oxidation, reduction, reaction. It undergo oxidation, reduction, reaction, or simply you can write redox reaction. Next question is, what is bleaching powder, how it is prepared, and give 2 uses of bleaching powder. What is bleaching powder? Bleaching powder is a calcium oxychloride, calcium CaOCl2. This is called as a bleaching powder. And how it is going to prepare? When we are passing the chlorine gas to calcium hydroxide. When we are passing chlorine gas to the calcium hydroxide, it is producing calcium oxychloride and water. So this calcium oxychloride, that is called as a bleaching powder. So some uses, if you are talking about, it is used as a oxidant in many chemical industries, and it is also used in the preparation of chloroform. It is used in the preparation of chloroform, and it is also used in the washing the clothes in the laundry. Washing cloths in laundry. It is used in the paper industries, etc. Name the following a metal which is preserved in the kerosene, that is sodium. So sodium is highly reactive. So when it is exposed to the air, it will be converted into sodium oxide. Hence it is going to be preserved under the kerosene. A lustrous colored non-metal, that is iodine. Iodine is a lustrous non-metal. A metal which can melt while kept on the palm, that is gallium or cesium. So they have very low melting point, so that what they will going to happen, if they are having above room temperature, they will start to melt. So a metal which is a poor conductor of heat, lead, mercury. Moving to the next question, arrange the metal iron, magnesium, zinc and copper in the increasing order of their reactivity. What will be the 2 made by the student when iron fillings are added to copper sulfate solution? So very firstly we have 4 metals, that is iron, magnesium, zinc and copper. So how we are going to write it in the increasing order? First we know that copper is the least reactive, so copper is less than. Next what we are going to write? We have a iron, so it is less than zinc, and which is less than magnesium. So what it means? Magnesium is highly reactive than zinc, and zinc is more reactive than iron than copper. Okay. So what happens when iron fillings is reacting with the copper sulfate? So we have iron filling, that is Fe plus CuSO4. That what is going to form? It is going to, there is a displacement reaction, because we know that iron is a more reactive than copper. So displacement reaction is going to take place, that is FeSO4 plus Cu. Moving to the next question. Translate the following statement into chemical equation and then balance it. A metal in the form of ribbon which burns with a dazzling white flame and changes into a white powder. So metal in the form of ribbon, that is in the very first lesson only we have chemical equations in that lesson. So magnesium ribbon, we know that magnesium. So this magnesium is burning with a dazzling white flame. So that is with oxygen. So what it is producing? It is producing magnesium oxide. Just balance it, 2 Mg, which is producing MgO. So this is a ribbon form of metal and this is a white powder. That is magnesium oxide. Moving to the next question, that is, a student added few pieces of aluminium metal to 2 test tubes A and B containing aqueous solution of iron sulfate and copper sulfate. So till here one question will be there. From here in the second part of our experiment, she added iron metal to another test tube C and D containing aqueous solution of aluminium sulfate and copper sulfate. So in which test tube or test tubes will she observe color change? On the basis of this experiment, state which one is the most reactive metal and why. So very firstly we will be just writing what is A and B and what are the whether reaction will take place or not. So A, this is a test tube A, it contain which one? Iron sulfate. So FeSO4 plus what you have to add? Aluminium. So here displacement reaction is going to take place. Next, color change will be there in that. Next one, aluminium is highly reactive than iron, so displacement will be takes place over there. In the next one, we have a B test tube B. In that test tube B, solution we have copper sulfate is there. So copper is less reactive than aluminium. So here also displacement is going to, reaction is going to take place. So color change will be there. In the third one, that is test tube C, she added iron metal, that is iron metal she added to aluminium Al2SO4 thrice. In this she added. So iron is less reactive than aluminium, so there is no reaction here. No reaction means there is no color change. Next one, fourth one, they have taken fourth test tube, that is test tube D. Test tube D, she is having a copper sulfate. In that she added CuSO4. In that she added iron. So here displacement reaction is going to take place. So from this observation, except C, in all the 3 test tube reaction is going to take place. So test tube A and B and C, sorry, and D will undergo displacement reaction. Hence color changes we can observe over here. In the test tube C, there is no color change, so that there is no reaction we can observe, like since iron is less reactive than aluminium. So now out of these we can observe which is a highly reactive metal, that is aluminium is a highly reactive metal compared to other metals. Next question is, bee sting leaves a chemical substance that causes pain and irritation. Name the chemical substance. Identify the type of substance which may give relief on the sting area when applied on it. So the chemical substance that causes pain and irritation, which one when bee sting will be there. So that is methanoic acid. Methanoic acid, or commonly we can call it as a formic acid. So the formula will be HCOOH. So second is there, identify the type of substance. So since it is acid is there, so we need to use a basic substance. So for example, we have to rub baking soda on the stung area, so that what is going to happen, it will give the relief. Moving to the next question, what were the limitation of Daubernier triads? Daubernier triads is not fit for all the elements which are obtained during that time. That was the limitation, and his triad only applicable, or law of triad only applicable to only 3 triads. It is applicable up to only 3 triads, and there were many elements present during that time. That elements are not fit to his triads. Why did Mendeleev leave some gaps in his periodic table? So he left a gap for yet to be discovered element in future, and that elements discovered later, and whatever the properties he have given, that properties are almost same. So hence he left some gaps in between the elements. Next question is, what is a combination reaction? State one example giving balanced chemical equation for the reaction. So combination reaction are those two or more reactant combined together to form a single product. For example, we have calcium oxide. When it is reacting with water, it will be producing calcium hydroxide. So here two or more reactant we have taken, so it is producing a single product, that is called as a combination reaction. Next question. List 4 observations that helps us to determine whether chemical reaction has taken place. So whenever we are doing the chemical reaction, we have observed many observations, such as first one, evolution of gas. For example, when zinc granules which are added to sulfuric acid, so zinc sulfate and hydrogen gas is going to produce. Next one, liberation of heat energy. When combination reactions are there, during that time liberation of heat energy is going to, heat will be liberated. Third observation, that is change in the physical state, like solid to liquid, liquid to gas, like that, change in physical state. Change in color. So for example, when we are heating copper sulfate crystals, so it will be turns into white, blue to white. Why? Because it is a hydrated salts. Since it is a hydrated salt, copper sulfate, 5-hydrated is there, so this will be liberated over there. So conversion of blue to white we can see. So color change is also one of the indication. So these are the 4 observations we are going to commonly observing in the chemical reaction is going to take place or not. Next question we have that mention any 2 trends exhibited by elements when we go from left to right across the period of a predictable. When we move left to right, children, what is going to happen? Non-metallic property will be increases. So very firstly, electronegativity will be increases. Electronegativity increases. And moving left to right, one more thing, that is atomic size decreases. That is why atomic size will decrease, due to increasing the effective nuclear charge. And moving left to right, the capacity to receive an electron, that will be decreases. And also we can write moving left to right, valence electrons are going to increase. Next question we have, it is a very important type of question. It is, this type of questions might be asking in 3 marks too. A metal X combined with a non-metal Y, so by the transfer of electrons to form a compound Z. So metal reacting with non-metal means transferring electrons, that means definitely it will form an ionic compound, that is Z. Okay, so state type of bond present in this. So there is a transfer of electrons they are telling, and there is a metal and non-metal, metal and non-metal combined to form an ionic compound. So what type of bond will be there? Ionic bond will be there. So ionic bond. Next, what can you say about the melting and boiling point? Since it is an ionic compound, the attraction between them will be more, because there is a transfer of electrons is there. So what is going to happen? There will be a high melting and boiling point will be there. Will these compounds be a good conductor of electricity? Yes, these compounds are good conductor of electricity only when this compound is in molten state or in the aqueous state. Next question is, the electronic configuration of an element X is 2, 8, 6. To which group and period of the modern predictable does X belongs? State its valency. So it is having atomic number 16. Why? Because it is having electronic configuration 2, 8, 6. So it is having 6 valence electrons. So 6 plus 10, it is belongs to 16th group. It contains KLM, that is 3 shell So by knowing the number of shells, we can predict the period. So it is belongs to third period, 16th group. So what is the valency? 6 valence electrons are there. 8 minus 6, valency 2. Next one is state the meaning of strong acid and weak acids. Give one example each. So we know that the strong acid means what? The acid which dissociate completely to produce more number of H plus ion. So the acid which produce more H plus ions and dissociate completely. Here dissociation should be completely. Dissociation will be more. Yeah, completely it will be takes place. So example HNO3, HCl, sulfuric acid, etc. So when weak acid we are taking, there will be a dissociation, partially dissociation will be takes place, hence less H plus ions are going to produce. Example HCOOH, all carbon containing acids, CH3COOH, etc. Next question, give a test that can be used to confirm the presence of carbon in a compound. So take a carbon containing compound and heat it, just heat that, so it will be producing carbon dioxide. Pass this carbon dioxide in lime water, so lime water turns milky. So this is the test which easily going to confirm the presence of carbon in the compound. I hope these are some sample questions which I explained. I hope this will be help during the revision time. So I will come with the 3 marks in the next video. Till then, practice more question to become more clear in the concept. Thank you.